Almonte's Key Food, proudly serving communities throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island for over 30 years. When you shop Key Food, you'll always find fresh products, great weekly specials, and exceptional personalized service. Visit at any of their Key Food stores at 8235 153rd Avenue, Lindenwood, New York, 935 Rosedale Road, Valley Stream, New York, and 6620 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
It's No Excuses with Fernando Mateo.
With me today, Republican candidate Fernando Mateo.
Business owner Fernando Mateo.
Our next guest, Fernando Mateo.
Now, here's Fernando Mateo.
Well, here I am, and I am fired up today. Really fired up. Yes, we are on WABC Radio, the most listened to radio station in the nation. But that only happens because we have the best lineup in the nation. John Catsimatidis made sure that WABC had the best lineup, and we do. So that's why I'm here, because I'm part of that lineup, and we're going to make things happen. I'll tell you, last week I spoke about me. I spoke about some of the experience, some of the people that mentored me, some of the people that helped me get where I was today. And believe it, we had hundreds of people calling me and asking me to talk about my life, my story. And that's what I want to share with you, because I think that a lot of you out there can learn a lot from me, and I want to share it. People that are successful very rarely share their experience because, I don't know, they probably don't want people to succeed, but I do. I believe that if you help others, God will take care of you. Today, it's about my life through New York politics, business, activism, and betrayal. Guys, betrayal, because betrayal comes with everything, okay? Tonight is not about politics. Tonight, it's about lessons. Lessons learned over decades for fighting in my community, fighting for my community, building businesses, helping people, and dealing with some of the most powerful individuals in America. Yes, Fernando Mateo has dealt with some of the most powerful people in America. My story does not begin in politics because I was never a politician. My story begins at Rikers Island. During the David Dinkins administration from 1989 to 1991, I founded the Mateo Institute of Training, known as the MIT program at Rikers Island. The idea was simple: take nonviolent offenders and teach them a skill. Give them an opportunity. Give them hope. Give them a chance. Most people thought it would fail. Instead, it became one of the most successful vocational training programs in the nation. The New York Times, the New York Post, the Daily News, and all the national newspapers across the country wrote extensively about the MIT program. People magazine dedicated 5 pages about my training program and featured me as one of 5 most amazing Americans. I was honored by that article. Oprah Winfrey did not 1, but 2 30-minute specials. And she shed tears while witnessing the MIT program and how these kids were doing and how we put it all together. President George H.W. Bush presented me with the Points of Light Award and asked if I could take this program to federal prisons around the country. That was a huge honor. But I said, Mr. President, I'm a small carpet businessman. I own a few stores and I employ people. And if I did that, I'd go out of business. They say you should never say no to a president, but I had to decline because I was committed to my family, my business, and my program. 2 years later, another movement took shape under Mayor Dinkins. who was an incredible listener. Mayor Dinkins was a listener. Very few people that have power listen because they believe they know it all. They believe that them and their advisors is all they have to listen, is the only people they need to listen to. They forget about the people who put them in office. They forget about the people that elected them. And they don't listen to the public. Mayor Dinkins had great ears, and he was a great human being, by the way. That program was called Toys for Guns. Wow. Mayor Dinkins and Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly gave me the green light. I remember I called Mayor Dinkins on the 20th of December or the 19th of December of 1993, and I said, Mr. Mayor, 2 kids had committed suicide in Washington Heights, both using their parents' illegal guns. And it was really sad. And I said, what can I do? I asked my son, what can I do to get guns off the streets? And he said, Dad, if I had to give up all my Christmas presents for an illegal gun, I would. Boy, that idea came up. I called the mayor. I told him about it. He laughed, to be quite honest with you. He laughed. He got Raymond Kelly on a 3-way with me, and he laughed. And he said, well, listen, we've got nothing to lose. We have another week in office, so why not? Why not try it? Why not do it? So we went ahead with it. I went to Toys R Us with $5,000, which later became $10,000. And I asked them if they could give me a discount for toy certificates in exchange, because I was going to use it to exchange them to get illegal guns off the streets. And the manager said to me, it was in Yonkers, by the way, and the manager said to me, we're not interested in participating, but we'll sell you the certificate. So I bought, $10,000 worth of certificates, and that's how it all started. The media initially laughed when we announced it. Many thought the idea was ridiculous. Trading toys for guns? Who the hell would do something like that? Then people started to show up. Then more people started to show up. Then hundreds of people started lining up. Then thousands of people started lining up around the 34th precinct. I remember when I went to the press conference, they had shut down the streets from 181st Street to 190th Street. The street was closed for media, for trucks. It became a frenzy. Soon politicians, athletes, celebrities, community leaders all wanted to stand next to me during the announcement and the progress of this program. I remember Chuck Schumer showed up and he was elbowing me. He was elbowing me to try to get the mic. I looked at him, I said, hey, this is my press conference. He was a congressman at the time, by the way. He wasn't a senator. But needless to say, he was always around when there were cameras. I mean, I don't ever forget that. The New York Knicks stepped up. Dave Checketts, who became very supportive. He was the president of Madison Square Garden. Patrick Ewing, Charles Smith, Charles Oakley, and others donated sneakers, merchandise that we exchanged for guns. The program went beyond Toys for Guns. The guy that owned Dial a Mattress, he came and he donated $100,000 worth of certificates for mattresses. Then the guy from Models came in and said, I want to do something, because they all wanted to get a piece of the action. And that was cool because I was getting more and more certificates. But the biggest bump that we got was from the chairman of Toys R Us. The day after this announcement that I said we're giving Toys R Us gift certificates, and that appeared in every newspaper around the country, the Toys R Us stock went up. He called me because he heard me saying, guys, we've run out of money. We don't have any more money. Stop bringing in the guns. He called me at the precinct and said, what do you need? I said, I need more certificates. He sent $250,000 worth of certificates. And that's how we were able to continue the program and launch it. Soon Reddick Bowe called me, wanting to take it to Washington, D.C. I told him I can't get there, but this is how you should do it. I mean, the program spread around the nation. I sat courtside at Madison Square Garden to watch Knicks games. That was tremendous. I wish it was today. These tickets are costing, I don't know, $50,000, $100,000 courtside, But listen, I sat there. I had floor seats. Everyone wanted to be associated with success. Mayor Dinkins honored me numerous times at City Hall. Congressman Charlie Rangel, who was a giant, a lion, nominated me to receive the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. John Jay College awarded me its Presidential Medal. That taught me one thing. When you are struggling, few people stand next to you. But when you are successful, everyone wants a picture with you. That was a great era. It was an incredible time in my life. I was in my mid-30s. I had made a lot of money selling and installing carpet, and it was time for me to give back to my community. So those were the two first programs that I initiated that were very successful, and they were community driven. They were driven by me just simply wanting to help the city that made me who I am. Then came Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani came in a few days after I did Toys for Guns. And Rudy Giuliani served from 1994 to 2001. Rudy personally supported Toys for Guns. He walked into my carpet store personally and handed me a $10,000 check for the foundation. He says, use this $10,000, let's get more guns off the street. I respected many things he accomplished, but there were times we disagreed. One of those disagreements involved taxi drivers. At the time, New York City taxi drivers were being murdered at alarming rates. In some years, 60 to 80 drivers were killed. Many more violently attacked. These were hardworking immigrants simply trying to support their families. That led to the creation of the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers. The New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers was founded because nobody else was standing up to these taxi drivers. We organized. We protested. We demanded action. We demanded safety partitions. We demanded cameras. We demanded protection. We demanded respect. We demanded human treatment. I remember pushing City Hall relentlessly. I remember at one point, I demanded $5 million from the city to install cameras and partitions in taxi cabs. I even threatened to shut the city down by having thousands of cab drivers drive in through every bridge, every borough, and head down to City Hall and deliver 12 caskets of 12 drivers that were killed within a 3-week period in 1999. I wasn't fighting against Mayor Giuliani. I was trying to get him to listen. And I thought that he would listen, but he wouldn't listen. You know, he was a man that had a huge ego, had a lot of power, and wanted everyone to respect that power and that position. And I did respect it. And I did honor him. And till this day, I say that he was probably one of the best mayors New York City has ever had. He came in during turbulent times and he took care of business. We're going back. I have to, break for commercials. I will be back And just hang in there. I'll be right back.
It's No Excuses with Fernando Mateo.
Business owner Fernando Mateo.